All right. Good evening and good night, and welcome to the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. My name is David, a.k.a. Kimba, a.k.a. Christian, alongside
Soup.
Yeah, Soup. We're back again.
Yes, I.
Yeah, another week is upon us here. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. We have a website you have to go to, streaming live from the vi.com in order to see this show. So everybody right now, tell a friend, stop what you're doing and tell a friend to go to that website, streaming live from the vi.com in order to see the show tonight. In order to reach us via telephone, we have a telephone number. That number is 340-201-9005. 340-201-9005. You can reach us. That phone will ring right here, and we'll definitely have you on the air with us. You can also text us on that number, too, if you're a little shy to call. That text message will pop up right here as well. We do have a special guest in the studio tonight. Here he is right here. Manuel de Motta. There he is right there. He is a medical cannabis advocate here in the Virgin Islands. We're going to be talking to him just in a few minutes. Just want to run through a few things here real quick. We are in the high-tech, low-tech studio, coming to you from an undisclosed location, beautiful island of St. Croix, Virgin Islands. No radio, no TV, internet only. We don't have a frequency. We don't have a call number. We're not on innovative cable TV. You have to go to our website, streaming live from the vi.com in order to see this show. Check out all our past recorded live shows on YouTube and Ustream.tv. Search for our channel, It's Your Perspective Talk Show, and you'll see all our shows there. About 170 on YouTube and still about 10, 12, 15 on Ustream. Many guests on there as well. We have two Facebook pages, It's Your Perspective Talk Show, and one for streaming live from the vi.com. Give us a like tonight. Let us know how you think we're doing. Definitely want to give a shout out to CHS class of 1982. That's the year that Soup and I are representing. Shout out to Vanessa of Rhythms and I-Grade Records, Julie and Cherise King. Thanks for helping us out in the past. We're looking forward to see you guys come again. And to all our past guests, thank you for being on our show. We're on Twitter as well. Hit us up on VI Perspective and tweet with us there. So we're just moving straight forward and up. This show's mission is just basically to inform and entertain and empower everyone. And as always, Soup blesses the show with the It's Your Perspective poem. Soup, you ready?
Yes, I.
All right, bless that mic, man.
Greetings in the name of His Divine Majesty, Kidamawi Imperial Selassie the First. Jah Rastafari. The greatest secret in life is that reality is nothing more than illusion. The physical world does not exist outside of our own belief system and the filter of our own mind. We are, in fact, subparticles of Jah experiencing creation itself. But as our subparticles of Jah, we have swayed over these creation. Everything you have experienced in life, every event, occurrence, object, and person is nothing more than a figment of your own thoughts, beliefs, and words. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. When you understand this, your entire world shifts and you come to realize the true meaning of life is thus, like a lucid dream. We have total control.
Yes, sir, Soup. That is the It's Your Perspective poem. Soup's been blessing us since April of 2014 with the poem. Thank you, man, for helping us out with that, you know?
Yes, I.
So our guest tonight is Manuel de Motta. Am I pronouncing that correctly? De Motta, okay. Let me give you some volume here. Welcome to the studio here. And we had to get you on here. Someone from the group that went over to Colorado and Washington State to get some input, some insight on this whole thing of medical marijuana and whether it's right for the Virgin Islands or not. And so that's going to be my first question to you. What are your thoughts on whether or not you think it's good for us here?
I think medical marijuana should have been legalized a long time ago. I think marijuana should have been legalized a long time ago.
Right.
I think it can only benefit us as a people, and that's the benefit that everybody seems to be forgetting in this whole this whole battle to get medical marijuana legalized. It's not the money, it's not the economics, it's the patient. The patients get better.
Okay.
Everything else follows.
Okay. So, I guess we've been hearing, I guess even before it sort of came about as it is today, sort of across the world, this whole thing of medical marijuana. I mean, we've been hearing about it, and I guess it's been a sort of a taboo kind of a thing in a sense, but now it's becoming more mainstream. And I've read many reports. Over the years, Soup, you always read stuff about smoking weed and marijuana and medical marijuana, and it's all good, but there's still some pushback.
We're still living with tales of reefer madness coming after us still. I mean, when I grew up, we were told that if you smoked cannabis, you'd go crazy. You'd start smoking other drugs. You were going to be a child molester. You were going to be violent. You were going to commit murders. This was all because we smoked pot. And that scared everybody and put everybody in the mindset that anybody who smokes pot is an evil person.
Right.
And to demonize marijuana smokers for so many years, I can understand why people in my generation especially have a problem being more open and accepting of the truth when the truth comes out. Younger people actually, I found out in my speaking, younger people are not only less opposed to it, younger people are not using marijuana like they were when I was growing up.
Okay.
And I think that's just from education.
Well, so lack of education, that's why they're not smoking or using it?
That's their choice. I mean,
Okay.
they're doing that with an open mind, knowing that they can get it if they want it, but
They
some
just
of them
choose
are choosing not to do it.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's kind of work back. I know today here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands, they had one of our local senators, Terrence Positive Nelson, had a press conference in reference to his trip to Colorado and Washington State. And so, can you share? I guess you spoke too, right?
Sure. Yes, I did.
Can you share any of what happened today?
Yes, Senator Nelson, and along with Senator Roach as well. He was there.
Okay.
Some of the people that went on the cannabis tour, including Coach Foy was there. I was there. We were the two non-government speakers, I guess you could call it, and everybody had a chance, an opportunity to express their feelings about the trip, what they got out of it, and so on and so forth. And it was very interesting because I learned, with not having a government background as far as my employment or anything like that, when we sat down in front of the different boards, the tax boards, the Department of Health, the revenue departments, the governor, those people were, so open about telling us about how the conversion went from their medical cannabis to full legalization. And they were telling us the biggest problems they had was when they first had medical cannabis, there was very little regulation. And so now when they're trying to get in full legalization, or when they did get in full legalization, they're putting in rules for full legalization, and now they have to change the rules for medical cannabis, and things are a bit of turmoil now.
Okay.
And I just hope when we write our law on medical cannabis, we do that with the possibility of full legalization sitting right next to it somewhere down the road. But
Okay.
we should plan for that now and not later.
Okay. So you think medical marijuana is going to be the first component that gets approved?
I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. And once you see the patients, when you speak to the patients, that will make the coldest heart melt.
Okay.
And I think that's what we want to do. We're asking all the people who have been using cannabis to come out of the closet now and speak up, because the more people know about you, the more people see how you changed because you've taken cannabis oil. They have to come about it. How do you deny a child when their seizures are getting better? How do you tell a woman who has no more ovarian cancer? How do you tell a man who's got no more prostate cancer? This has to be done. It's ridiculous that we don't do it. It's only a plant.
Okay. Okay.
Manny, could you tell our listening audience what's your background?
My background is in healthcare. I'm a chiropractor by training. I worked in California. Well, I lived there for 40 years, and I worked there and had my own practice there. I had a sports medicine practice in California. And then came here about 10 years ago. And this is home. There's no plan B. This is it.
So you came here and you're just here now.
I'm here now.
Okay.
I love it here. We have problems anywhere we live, and I'll stick with the problems here and learn to live with them.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. So as you were a practicing chiropractor, I guess even in those days, were there talk of medical marijuana?
There was, but everybody talked about having glaucoma so they could smoke pot. I mean, that was the excuse people made.
Okay.
I don't think, myself, and to be honest with you, I didn't realize the medicinal value of marijuana until much, much, much later in life when I lost my father to cancer. And after he passed was when I started to do my research. And when I found out about cannabis, I got angry because my father died when he didn't have to. And not only him, but the whole family is affected. And I see there's a way out of that. And the only reason we're not using cannabis now is because of pharmacies and the big pharmacopoeia they call it, and money and big business, and that's the wrong reason to decide your health.
Okay. And so today at the news conference, besides the panel, were there a lot of attendees?
A lot of press, and there was some public there. There were about 10 or 12 public, and about, I think the TV stations were there, the newspapers were there, all well represented, all asking great questions again, and I think all of us, especially Senator Nelson, has literally been recharged since we got back. We saw the normalcy. That's the only word I can think of. The normalcy of legalized cannabis. When you walk around and you don't worry about looking over your shoulder if you happen to be smoking a joint. No one cares. People aren't getting killed in the street. We're not robbing and looting and killing. It's very normal. Okay. Absolutely very, very normal.
Okay. And I know on this past Saturday there was a rally, I guess,
yes.
at our Juan Louis Hospital here in St. Croix. And I saw, I guess the group confronted the governor.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if that was, because I know he was there to do something at the hospital with AARP, but was the confrontation, or I would say the confrontation, but when you guys met with him, was it before he went in or when he came out?
Well, let me talk about that.
Okay.
Because, when someone says confrontation, I have a different picture in my mind. It really wasn't a confrontation. We just wanted him to see that there were people that cared. Ironically, when we went to the hospital initially, we were asked to move because we were on hospital grounds, and they asked us to move outside. And they said the governor will be driving by. And we were at the entrance, right by the entrance of the hospital. And that's where we were waiting for the governor. But I think he saw us, and he tried to come in another entrance. And somebody said the governor is coming. And it's not like we rushed him, but we just went over we went back into the hospital, and we held up our signs. And to give credit to the governor, he stopped. He and his bodyguards stopped. He came out and spoke with us, and I was interested in hearing what we said. And he was saying, get the legislative work done, get it on my desk, and we'll see what happens. I hope he will sign the law.
That was his response?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Did you hear that comment that he made? And I don't know how true this is. His response was, "What is medical marijuana?" I don't know if you heard that.
No, I didn't.
There was something that happened. I guess it was last weekend. I guess his response was, "What is medical marijuana?" I know the governor has sort of a light sense of humor about things, and I don't know if this was sort of a joke. But I guess for me, it's a thing of hopefully he knows what it is.
Well, you know what? I don't know if most people know what it is, because they have this picture. I don't know what picture they have in their mind, but it's not people smoking pot to get better.
Okay.
The most medicinal marijuana is an oil from the whole plant.
Yes.
And it's a very, very strong medication. You can vaporize it now. You can put it on as an ointment on your skin. You can put it in sublingually, and it gets absorbed through the blood that way. You can use it as a suppository to have it absorbed in the body. Smoking is by far the least healthy way of delivering marijuana or cannabis to your system, although it's a very effective way too, because when you smoke and it goes into your lungs, there's literally one cell difference between your lung and your blood, and that's when your blood gets infused and you get the effects of the THC right away. And it's not just THC that's therapeutic, it's also the CBDs and all those other components of marijuana.
Okay. Okay. So with the medical marijuana, so the only thing that they're taking out, I guess when it's, extract, I guess is
Correct, when they extract the oil.
Yeah. The only thing that is put to the side and is not used is the THC.
Nope. We use everything when we extract the oils.
Okay. But in a medical sense?
In a medical sense.
Okay. Okay.
Most people say, you know what, if marijuana works or if certain parts of marijuana works, why don't we just go in and pull out those parts and put that in a pill and give that to somebody? And the answer to that is it's something called the Entourage Effect. I don't know if you've ever heard the expression, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Mm-hmm. This is the case with cannabis and cannabinoids. Cannabis isn't just THC. THC is one of 400 different components of a marijuana or a cannabis plant.
Okay.
And each different component seems to work in conjunction with each other to have the healing effect of cannabis. If you just took certain parts of it, like we do in medicine, we have something called Manuel. They synthetically made THC, which is the psychoactive part of cannabis. And they make this now and they put it in a pill form, and it's called Manuel. It's not only expensive, it doesn't work. People who have tried it don't like it. They would rather smoke the cannabis than take this pill.
Okay.
And the pill doesn't work.
Okay. 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 Puerto Rico just passed medical marijuana, but I guess no smoking to achieve the medical benefits of it.
You know, I think it's crazy that you would try to legislate a way of delivering a medication. There's some other states that are saying we only want cannabis with high CBD and no THC. And they're trying to legislate what part of the plant they want you to use. And that's almost silly because the whole plant is there. Use the entire plant. That's what it was made. That's what it was meant to be. Instead of pulling out certain extracts.
Pieces of it, yeah. Okay. So you guys met with him, and I guess it went favorable in a sense. I mean, the vibe was good, and
I felt good about the conversation because he was interested. He didn't just give us lip service. And he says, why are you out here? And the response is, we want you to know that there are people here who want to have an option of using medical cannabis.
Okay.
And it wasn't just me, it was another medical doctor, Dr. Cintron. It was patients that were that have actually used the cannabis that were there. These weren't just protesters per se. We were out there having a rally, and it was a very peaceful rally, but we wanted to let people know cannabis works. And it's silly not to give us that choice and that option.
Okay, okay.
So how soon you seeing a legislature go forward here, Manny?
Well, according to Senator Nelson, he wants the actual legislation written by the end of this month. From there, it goes to legal, and the legal department puts it in legalese. And from what I understand from there, it gets assigned to a committee. And then from there, it goes to the committee of the whole. And that next one, I think, is in September or something of this year.
Okay.
If things go smoothly, we may actually have something something by the end of the year. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. So how do you envision this, like, coming about? I mean, sort of like a Colorado, Washington State, but just a smaller scale?
Well, we're going to be, the one thing we have to do, and we should start now, is get some of these pieces in place, like people who want to grow, farmers, people who want to do the processing, people who want to do the extracting. Senator Nelson actually made a call today to the general public, all those interested in the cannabis business. Start giving us your names now so we can maybe get a meeting together and talk about it as a group. But everything from planning the farms to the extractions to the cultivation to everything has to be started. We have no legal way at this point of producing cannabis. We have wonderful farmers here, and I think in the law we should make it so the people who are already growing cannabis can continue to grow cannabis, and I don't want a legal issue to get in the way of these people, our most experienced growers, because they may have a past record because of a brush with the law with cannabis. I don't want to exclude those people from growing. I want them to be included so they can see this. They can do what they do best and make a living at it legally.
Yes.
And what a better way of living life than to sneak underneath everything and having to sneak around.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we have to plan for.
Who's all going to be involved in right in the legislature now, man? You know?
Right now, Senator Nelson is there. He has two of his staff. He has his community liaison person. And I guess I'm the last one that's sitting down with a little bit of input. I feel very privileged to be put in that position.
Okay.
You still practice your business?
No, I would like to start practicing chiropractic again. I'm having a little issue with some of the licensing laws here. As you know, sometimes the medical laws can be a little bit funny.
Yeah.
I'm having one of those issues. Hopefully I will have that resolved this year.
Okay. So hopefully by the end of the year, this will come to light.
I that's what I hope. That's what the best possible outlook would be. And you know, this is the one thing that the benefit isn't going to be anybody but the people. The people that need it the most will get it. And frankly, if we don't get it, people are going to use it anyway. The genie is out of the bottle. The tsunami has come. We cannot avoid this anymore. We may as well face it, embrace it, and use it for what it's supposed to be, for our benefit and our health. It's ridiculous. We cannot grow a plant and eat it and use it the way it was meant to be eaten and used.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about, I know you guys went to Washington State. That must have been like an awesome trip. Just kind of share, you know, I mean, I guess being there and it's more free. And
first of all, I guess that is the thing. Let me give you the atmosphere, and I say this, and you'll understand the freedom and the way things were. When we lined up to go to the Cannabis Cup, there were literally tens of thousands of people lining up and waiting for hours at a time. I didn't see any pushing. I didn't see any shoving. I didn't see any yelling. I didn't see any fighting. People were just happy. I mean, we knew we had to wait. No one cared. And when people were passing around a joint or whatever, people would share. I mean, it was a very pleasant community, so to speak. I mean, the freedom to stand outside in public and legally smoke pot, and not care that the policeman is standing right across from you watching you smoke this joint. It is an incredible feeling. And now when I say that, everybody in the cannabis community that received us were the warmest, most open people. They not only showed us around, and with no uncertain terms, said if we have any questions, if we have any issues starting something like this here, they're all more than willing to help. I was out going to the growing part now and seeing some of these things. I was amazed at the massive size of some of these operations. There was a guy who had a 40,000 square foot warehouse and he built a 30,000 square foot mezzanine within that warehouse, where he's going to have, he says, the largest indoor grow operation in the world. They're going to be hiring over 100 people to help plant, harvest, trim, take care of the plants, process everything, extract the oils, get it ready for distribution, and they even have their own shop, so it goes out to their shop. The thing that was amazing, they had 3 air conditioners, about, well, they were like a 1-story high and about 20 foot by 20 foot, and these were air conditioners to keep the air in this place cool.
Yes.
They said the highest paid person there was the electrician. And that's the other thing. The ancillary job opportunities, electricians, carpenters, all these other people are working because they're getting businesses ready to service other things. And when we were there, people were literally coming in and asking for job applications. It was, you don't see that here on St. Croix.
Yeah.
And I see that not only as a possibility, but, you know, Hovenza had 2,000 employees that we lost because they moved. I don't know if we can replace 2,000 employees directly, but I know with all the other ancillary things that can happen, and when you add hemp to the mixture, I don't see Hovenza being gone as a problem.
Yeah, because the workers would be elsewhere,
Right.
doing other things.
Doing things that don't pollute the air. And
Yeah. So in Colorado, you know, I saw a picture of the line, and I think they said that there was 40,000 people waiting to get in there. There's a line of people.
Right.
I just thought that was massive.
It was massive, and it was calm. No, you know, it was amazing. People would have conversations. By the time you reached the front of the line, you were exchanging numbers to the guys next to you because they were nice people.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it was a very social event.
Yeah.
And clean. I didn't see any trash. And I actually took a picture of that because I didn't believe it. I go, look on the ground. There's no trash anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all these people here, right?
And people really outside in very relaxed atmosphere. You know, if Colorado were in the tropics, I'd move.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You know, when I saw that picture of everybody standing in line to get in there, and they said it was like 50,000 people or so, my first thought was, I think I told Soup this, was that's everybody in St. Croix,
Yeah.
man, woman, and child, standing in a line, you know, waiting to go into a conference of sorts.
Right, and if you could imagine, if the same event was sponsored by a liquor distributor, I can only imagine the brawling we would have outside because of all the beer drinkers and all those people outside in the front.
Exactly.
I mean, the culture of cannabis versus alcohol is just completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
It's the mindset, it's how you behave, how you act, how you think.
Exactly.
You know, and the thinking part is to me, that's the most important part, because your behavior change. You start to see the world different for what you start to see the world for what it is.
Well, you're laid back. You're a bit more relaxed about
Yeah,
things too.
you know, so certain things won't bother you, it won't issue you, so.
Yeah. So you would sort of, I guess, envision that we'd grow and then we do the extract here, so we'd have like a facility that would do all the extract.
I think we'd be crazy if we don't.
Okay.
I think we're going to have every aspect of the business here, obviously on a smaller scale. We're going to have farms on all islands, I'm sure. I don't know how much room we have on St. John, but I know on St. Thomas and I know on St. Croix there's plenty of room, on St. Croix especially. I know the dispensaries, we're going to have dispensaries. We have to have a few dispensaries. We can't keep, I don't want anyone to have an exclusivity on anything like that. You know, we need to have the extractors. The extractors are one of the most important aspects of it, because
Is that like a very kind of scientific kind of process?
it's a bit more high tech, because they use something called CO2 extraction or butane extraction or alcohol extraction to literally pull the oils from the plant. And once you have the oils, they use that in making the edibles and in making some of the medicines. They actually smoke some of the oils now too, and you can do that with a vaporizer to get the effects of the cannabis without the harm of the smoke. And even though cannabis does not cause lung cancer, it can harm the lungs, or irritate, I should say, irritate your bronchioles and your bronchus, but it won't cause anything like emphysema or coronary obstructive pulmonary disease or asthma. Marijuana will not do that.
Okay. What's the biggest myth right now with cannabis and medical cannabis?
Everyone is saying the kids. I agree. I wholeheartedly endorse that we should keep marijuana, like alcohol, like tobacco, away from children. Just because alcohol is legal, parents aren't feeding it to the kids. I don't understand why people have a vision of an adult who is using cannabis as a medicine, trying to force their kids to smoke. I've actually had someone says, well, are you going to make your kids smoke now? I mean, why would someone say that?
Yeah.
You know, and the studies, the most recent studies that just came out of the College of London, 2,600 children tested between the ages of 8 and 15 with no IQ deficit at all. The only thing that influenced IQ in their study was alcohol, not cannabis. Kids are going to smoke cannabis whether it's legal or not. We're not going to stop them from smoking cannabis by making medical marijuana legal. We are going to make it a lot safer for the patients. We're going to make it so they don't have to sneak around to buy their medication. They don't have to buy a medication that hasn't been tested, that we don't know what is in it, and they're paying top dollar for what they don't know. Legalizing marijuana will make it so the patients can get it, and so doctors. That's the other important thing. Doctors shouldn't be prosecuted for trying to help a patient understand the right medication and how to take it. We have to get all this taken away, and it's that stigma that has been associated with cannabis for the last 70 years that has to be removed. We've been using cannabis as medication for 5,000 years, well, more than 5,000 years. Recorded for 5,000 years, used for over 12,000 years. Now, it's only been banned for 77 years. Folks, let's get our priorities in order.
Yeah.
You know, cannabis used to be used as medicine here as far as the 1860s. It came in bottles. And Eli, I think it's called Eli, but the name of the drug company that makes drugs. All these companies that make drugs today were making cannabis extracts then. It only stopped in 1933 with the Marijuana Tax Act, and after the 1940s it was just taken out of the pharmacopoeia. I mean, but we used this as medicine before, and the doctors were the ones that protested this being made illegal, but no one listened to them. They listened to the people in the timber industry, in the pharmaceutical industry,
in the plastic industry,
and
Dumont and
it was industry that caused marijuana completely to be banned. They demonized it, saying it was the African American jazz players and the Mexicans from Mexico coming and smoking reefer and going crazy and harming your women. This is the story they were telling people.
Yes.
How ridiculous is that?
Yeah, it's a crazy story actually.
And we believed it. And still believe it.
And the myth continues today.
And the myth continues today.
Yes. For me, it should just be an all-out legalization and done the whole thing because the studies have been proven, the studies have been shown that it's beneficial to man, it's beneficial to all of us. And we are just sitting back here just waiting when our citizens are dying, our leaders are passing away, when we could live on a little more longer.
Well, look at the crime we have here. Crime rates dropped dramatically in Colorado and in Washington with full legalization. I forget the name of the organization. I think it's called LEAF, but those are retired police officers. Were saying this is the thing that they expected to see, because the regular police said we were going to have rampant crime. People are going to be robbing and stealing and doing all these things and falling drunk or high on the streets. None of that happened. None of that happened. Matter of fact, there's in Washington, they're refunding money back to the taxpayers because they collected more than this than they were going to use for the program.
Wow.
And they're trying to change that law now because they want to use that money for other things. But right now, the way it is, they actually have to refund back to the taxpayers monies because of collections from the marijuana tax.
Yeah. Which actually brings me to another question here, another area. So, money that we can potentially gain from this is millions, millions of dollars?
Millions and millions of dollars.
Okay.
And it won't be the cash cow that full legalization will be, because full legalization is what brought the money into Colorado and with Washington. What this will do for us, it will boost our economy. It can, if we're smart, we work this right, it'll help our tourist trade. Frankly, the patients are the ones that are the biggest benefits. We're going to get better, and the doctor's going to be able to treat the patients, and that is the most important thing. But that said, farmers, cultivators, everybody involved in all the ancillary businesses that cater to cannabis business, the plumbers, the electricians, the accountants, the computer programmers. They have software programs that will track, they say, from seed to sale. They can literally track a plant from its inception in the ground to its sale at the dispensary. And they've separated the dispensaries. Just because one plant is used recreationally and the same plant is used medicinally, they have to actually grow a separate plant for medicinal and a separate plant for recreational. That's how stringent these rules are about tracking your plant.
Okay.
So they don't want people selling plants out of the back door and so on and so on. And I can understand that.
Yes. Okay. So potentially we can turn things around here.
Our economy, our jobs. I mean, and the people that would be applying for these jobs are the people that would need it. I mean, these are the people that need it the most now. I mean, we're not talking about a lot of the high-tech things. We're talking about things that we can do here. I want to see a college started here, a cannabis college, where they teach all the different aspects of that industry, from what being a bud tender to being a manager to being working in a grow facility. We need to teach that, and that's one thing we can do here.
Yes.
Yeah, and we should start that now, before this becomes actuality. We need to have everything prepared, so when it's time to go, we have farmers ready, we have people to man the stores, we have people to extract the oils, we have all these people in place, and I'll bet you we won't have a problem finding people to work.
Yeah. The dispensaries, that's another angle. So someone that needs medical marijuana wouldn't get it from a dispensary. They would.
That's exactly where they would get it from.
Okay, so a doctor would write a prescription, and then they would go.
Because the federal government has the issue on Schedule I drugs, doctors who treat patients with cannabis can only write recommendations. They're not prescriptions.
Okay.
And when they write the recommendation, they may say, you want to get the cannabis oil, or you may want to use it in a vaporizer. I mean, they're treating cancer with this now, and with the oils. So they'll write the prescription, but the one link that's missing that I kind of want to see happen here is having a treatment facility actually use cannabis to treat the patients. They don't have anything like that anywhere else. I mean, they give you the cannabis, here it is, and you go take care of things. I'd love to see someone come here, maybe book a stay in a hotel, come to the doctor gives them their prescriptions, runs their lab work, they go get their cannabis oil, they get their treatment, they get their lectures on healthy living and so on and so forth. They get treated here, and then they can go back to wherever they came from and come back for a follow-up visit later.
Yeah.
I really think that would be something that would be, that's real medical tourism. I mean, that's something I wish the cardiac center
was doing. Yeah. It makes sense. Great potential there. So hopefully by the end of the year, this will.
Well, we can hope. Everybody laughs at me when I say I think by the end of the year we'll have something. But I've been surprised more than I haven't been surprised on this whole trip. I mean, when things are starting to happen, and I can see it, I have people calling me, asking me about, what do you think about these opportunities? Do you think we can do something? And I'm encouraging everybody. Not only that, but let's get a group together. Let's sit down and talk, because many minds are better than one, and if we look at this as a community and how we can grow as a community and embrace this and grow from it, we can't help but win. And you know, the bottom line, I said, if the patient gets better and we also have economy to follow everything, what a great thing, you know. But the patients have to get better first, and that is what, you know, I just want to make sure everyone, when they vote on, we don't have to vote on this anymore, when they have the views against medical cannabis, think about the people that are actually benefiting. Why would you want to deprive them of that? Why would you want to deprive a parent of letting their child be seizure-free? Why do you want to keep a woman from treating her ovarian or her breast cancer? Why? It doesn't hurt you. If they want to do it, let them do it.
Yeah. Wow. Sounds good, man. We're going to take a quick break. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll be right back. Stand by. All right. We're back. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. Go to our website, streaming live from the vi.com in order to see the show. Manny D'Amato is here in studio tonight. He is a medical cannabis advocate here in the Virgin Islands. And we're just kind of continue on with our conversation here, just kind of giving us some insight, his travels, his knowledge, his wisdom about medical marijuana and the good of this plant, and how he feels that it would help everybody, you know. So we were just taking a break there. What else do you want the people to know, our viewers to know about medical cannabis? Oops, hold on there. There you go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, there you go.
If we grew cannabis in our yard and ate it raw, all those people that object to people getting high would have no more objections, because you cannot get high if you eat raw cannabis. Absolutely impossible. And you get all the effects of having the cannabinoids in your system.
Yes.
If we can train ourselves to do that from the day we start, it would be a much more pleasant life. They even, in Jamaica, mothers drink the tea when they're pregnant to help them with their pregnancy cramps and things like that. It's not a bad thing. And literally, I mean, from birth to grave, it literally is everything that we need.
So you got any questions, Sue?
No, I'm good. I just for me, they just need to legalize it and done the whole game and done the shebang.
Yeah.
Legalize it, because again, it's benefited to man, woman, and child.
Can you imagine that people could grow this and pick it and eat it, and I don't see crime as an issue, because I mean, if everybody's growing it, no one's going to steal it.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be no crime, man. It's gonna be no crime.
Well, I won't say that.
I mean, and that what they were looking for, what the officials were looking for, the escalation in the crime. You know what I mean? But I can only see positive things happening, and that's my whole take on it.
I do too, but you know, I'm afraid. The thing I fear for myself is I try to be very open-minded and see any other possibilities. If I miss something, I want to know.
Of course.
And I'm open-minded enough to, if someone really shows me something new, I would have to consider it. If they told me, but did you know it'll make you go blind after 42 years of smoking?
Yeah.
I mean, if they told me that specifically, I would look at that differently. I mean, if they said it caused a problem, I would examine that. I would research that.
Okay.
But it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it hasn't.
Yes. When you were traveling to Colorado and Washington State, what was when you met with, I guess, some of the government officials there, what was the biggest issue that they had doing this?
They said, be prepared for surprises, is what they said. Only because they said no matter how well you plan something, just because each community is different,
yes,
you'll have hiccups that other places just didn't have.
Okay.
And they said, like I say, the police, I remember the police, they didn't know what to expect, and they were a little nervous initially because we talked about law enforcement and what have you, and they said it didn't happen like they expected it to happen. I mean, you didn't see people staggering in the streets because they were high.
Yeah.
And there wasn't rampant crime everywhere. There just wasn't.
Yeah. So in Colorado and in Washington State, you can't smoke a spliff in the traditional sense, but you can put it in a vaporizer?
You can smoke at home. You can smoke in a private club. You can
Yes.
smoke anything you want privately.
Okay.
You cannot smoke publicly.
Okay.
And when you use a vaporizer, I guess technically you shouldn't be doing that either, but I don't think you could classify that as smoking.
Smoking.
Okay.
Right. And that's what I said too, man. It's not advocating that the young men go out there and smoke weed in the streets and blow smokes and grind his face. That's not the issue here at all. And I think that's where the mindset has to change in the individuals that was trying to fight it down. If they figuring that the individual is going to be just walking in the street just smoking a big spliff, and that's what and that's not what
That's not what
advocates
it
are
is.
advocating for.
And, you know,
not at all.
And that has nothing to do with medical marijuana.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing
You
to do with
understand?
medical
So-
marijuana. And you know, the thing that I have a problem with too about, they say, well, if you have medical marijuana, if you're taking it as medicine, what if your kids take it? And I go, what do you do with your regular medication?
You put it away,
You
right?
put it away.
Yeah.
You don't leave it out.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know?
Yeah.
Come
But
on.
these are the things that are being told to me and saying, this is the reason I'm against it. I go, how can that be a reason to be against something that helps somebody else?
Somebody else, yeah. Yeah.
100%. You know, change their whole lives.
Exactly.
You know,
And
change their
sometimes
lives.
when
Change and save their lives.
Because of our mentality, people who are resorting to using cannabis are using cannabis as a last resort. They've tried everything else.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you know, talk about your mindset. It should be reversed. They should try
Try
cannabis
cannabis
first.
first,
And
yeah.
if that doesn't work, then try everything else.
else,
But everything is reversed now.
But it's how they've been taught, how they've been brought up, how they've been schooled.
Do you
know,
see
so-
it happening that way? You know, I have cancer, and then okay, the first thing we're going to give Mr. Christian is some cannabis.
Well, I had this conversation with Dr. Cintron. Doctors take this Hippocratic oath, and it says, first, do no harm. And every doctor knows, every medication that you give to a patient, especially the chemotherapies, will have an effect on another part of the body, not a good effect. Chemotherapy is poison. You can't send a poison in the body and say, only poison the cancer
Cancer
cells.
cells.
When you send the chemotherapy into the body, it's not only poisoning the cancer cells, it's poisoning the healthy cells, and the other cells are all dying.
Yeah.
When cannabis goes into your body and destroys a cancer cell, it doesn't do anything to the healthy cells. It only targets the sick cells. And that's what the medications can't differentiate.
Okay. Wow. I'm sold, man. I'm sold. What else? It's coming. Positive's working on a legislation, hopefully here by the end of this month, and it'll be approved by the end of the year.
We hope.
We hope. Medical cannabis is good for you.
Well, if you use it the way it's supposed to be used, yes, definitely. Like everything else, you can abuse this. I mean, look at our young people. They smoke, they get lazy not because cannabis does it. They have that mentality. If they were drinking alcohol, it would be the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just easier to get cannabis sometimes, I think, here than it is to get alcohol. But cannabis is a good thing. And medical cannabis is a very good thing. And when doctors can start treating patients and patients start responding, we're all going to sit up and say, why did we wait so long?
So long, yeah. You know, I have this thing on that I feel is like, where is the Virgin Islands going to fall in relation to, you know, approving medical marijuana compared to the other states? Are we going to be like dead last?
I hope not.
Or
Like I say, the genie's out of the bottle. The people here are going to be using cannabis in a medical way, whether we make it legal or not. It would just be so much better to take care of our patients and let them be able to buy the medication safely. Buy safe medication that's been tested and we know what's in it. That is what we need to do. That will take care of the health of our people. We just have to be responsible as adults and make sure our children don't do stupid things and break into your pot or your alcohol or your OxyContin or whatever it is that you have at home.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility as a parent.
To keep that stuff under lock and key, yeah.
Secure.
Secure, yeah. And what else? Let me ask you another question. Is it going to be expensive?
I think as more of it becomes available, it becomes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I know in Colorado and in Washington State, the price started to drop, but because of the taxes that were so high, some of the people are still opting to go to the black market and buy their cannabis. Their recreational people are actually paying more taxes than the medical patients. Medical patients don't pay tax because it is a medicine.
Yes.
And the people who are getting the recreational cannabis can probably get a medical card, but they feel that they would rather just buy it, pay a little bit more, and buy the recreational and treat it accordingly and as such, than to impose. I mean, we actually have a conscience.
Yeah. Yes. That actually makes sense. Yeah. Well, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else, man. I just hope that this comes to light.
So do I. Thank you so much for inviting me. I would love to come back and talk to you when we have definite plans in place.
Okay.
Okay.
We had one of your, I guess, Fire Red, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been on here a couple of times talking about that and some other things as well. I think he's in one of the pictures too at the hospital that I saw.
He was dressed in a suit.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize.
Yeah, he was dressed in a suit when he was there. I was like, "Whoa, is that Fire Red?" Got in a suit.
And I saw him from dreads to suit.
Yeah.
And it's a very different picture.
Yeah. Bless up, big ups to Fire Red, Well, our guest tonight is Manny Motta. I want to thank you for coming out and sharing your thoughts with us on this whole thing of the medical cannabis.
Correct.
We hope it goes all the way. I definitely, I see value in doing it. I mean, and if it's done right, I mean, we should all benefit from it.
We will all benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, not only directly with the patients, but the community in general.
Yes.
And
there's jobs and there's growth, economic growth. People coming here on medical hiatus to do that, and just people coming here. I guess people now take vacations intentionally to go to Colorado.
Right.
So people will start coming here intentionally because
we have people moving to Colorado because they can't get the medication in their own state.
Yeah.
I'd rather them move here.
Yeah.
What a better place to live. We don't have snow.
Yes. That's right. That's it, man. That's it. So, any final questions, Soup, for our
Manny,
guest?
just keep on doing what you're doing, and for me, legalize it, and I will advertise it. Straight as an arrow.
Yeah, that's the classic phrase right there.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you as well for sharing. Anything you want? Anything else?
Well, let's just get this thing up and going. I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen sooner rather than later.
Okay. Yeah, people do need that cannabis in their system to heal them. So we'll just leave it at that. It's about 9:03 p.m. on Tuesday, May 12th, 2015. This is the It's Your Perspective talk show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We are streaming live from thevi.com. Check us out tomorrow night as well. We do have another guest lined up. Final words, Soup? Final words.
Rastafari lives, one perfect love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manny.
And we like to say one perfect love is our prayers and his blessings, Manny. When you put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. On that note, we're out. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace.